Hey, welcome to the fire committee meeting for Tuesday, February 11th, 8:30 a.m. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Do you have any pecuniary interest?
None known.
No? Okay, we'll go through and information of prior minutes. I had a question on these. And it was regarding the question on the financial statements. On there was one budget item that was highlighted as being over budget, December 31st. You're gonna follow up. See already.
Right. I don't have details, but it was what we talked about that day that,
The reconciliation,
yeah,
how she moves things later.
Okay. That's what I thought, but thank you. So. Those were approved at the last council meeting. And we'll move on to health and safety. Joint health and safety sheets. There's nothing on
The
these
clean
sheets.
month.
Yep, good month. So I'll move that we receive and file.
Seconded.
And we move on to new business. The fire monthly report for January. Steve, go ahead.
Okay. Community relations, installed some folks and CO'd, a couple of residents in the village, to take care of some seniors. Fire and safety inspections, the walkthrough of the new condos on Venetian. We still haven't got a final call yet from the building officials for the day they're gonna switch over, but everything's looking good there. Site visit at Ironworks to discuss their fire safety plan, because we got called there, there was some things that had to be updated. And then pre-planned and exercise completed by the staff and the volunteers. That's the inspections that we've been doing for different buildings with some of our staff, so they can get familiar with the buildings. Saying that, I'll be looking for possibly some numbers when they did this building, Jim. Said they just didn't have some numbers for them or some contacts maybe. Or some, they could fill them in.
okay,
Community emergency management, Claudio's having some tests done today, so he couldn't make it. So the EP day planning meeting they had, and Environment Canada weather briefing. One thing I asked Claudio about, I heard a radio test the other day, one of our calls. That they were doing for emergency management that he didn't know anything about, so I'm asking for some clarification. They're asking all the county to be on it, so I'd like to know what that's about. Partners, activities, working with the building department on the current commercial projects in the village. Myself had a meeting with Sergeant St. Clair, Fort Gratiot Fire Department regarding the mutual aid. I've told Fort Gratiot that we will not be involved with mutual aid with Michigan. We do not have the resources, and I'm not feeling it's a good idea to take our resources from our community over there because we're so small. He totally respected, understood. I said if it was something large, I'm quite sure we would all pull together as a department over the side to help out if we could. But as of now, we are out, and St. Clair and Sarnia are going to sign some kind of agreement with them. But I don't feel that would be the right thing to do for our department or our community. Facilities, we had an issue with our rear heater, which we do every single year. It gets plugged up with cobwebs, so they had to come in and service that. That's been repaired. It's up and working again. There are no other issues at this time for the building. Exterior, no issues. Vehicles, all vehicles are in good condition and working good. Health and safety inspections were completed, no issues reported. Staff completed their required training settled by the health and safety the month of January. All completed. Capital budget finalizing 2024 capital purchases. We're just about there with everything, so I think everything's. Our problem is still waiting on our pump for our hose testing. It's been damaged twice now from shipping, so who knows when we're gonna get it. Nothing from community at this time.
Yeah.
2025 capital budget submissions and budget process. We've basically got all ours. We're just trying to get a couple more numbers for, try to do this 5-year plan. Closing comments, 8 members attended the electrical vehicle, fire extrication training at it was at Corona Fire Hall, but it was for the trade show, and we had one guy doing an officer's course too. So 8 members in total. Members attended the annual Atlantic County trade show hosted by the college, just a bunch of people went to a walkthrough. We're hoping they're gonna come back to Point Edward next year to the 4 points. Attended a meeting with the CEO, staff, planning, and discuss current upcoming projects in the village. And planning process for the village. Members completed our annual fallen firefighter flag ceremony for Gary Kendall. Staff attended training with Jane regarding the electronic invoices and approval systems. That's gone through. I think there's no problems that I'm aware of. Haven't heard any complaints. Members participated in the webinar hosted by the OFM POA regarding the NFPA 1030 standard, which popularly NFPA 1031, 1035. We're ongoing with training with all those. Probably get one every 2 weeks that we're watching and listening. And then AODA training completed by staff. One car seat was installed and completed. And update on grant submission is looking for something on that. If we have anything for that. I called Jim yesterday and still nothing, Jim.
No,
Just so you're aware, we have something that came to us saying it's in your bank.
okay, well, send that to Jane, please.
Okay.
I don't
know
see
if
that stuff, like
Yeah.
the banking stuff, I don't.
I don't know if it's like 100%, but they said on Friday, it's in your bank, but.
If they said that, it's likely
Yeah.
there, so.
She's on vacation this week too.
Oh,
so,
okay.
you know.
With that understanding, so when we put in for that grant to buy this gear dryer, it was a number they gave us. And obviously we had to tell them what we were gonna buy. So we looked into doing it, but they didn't give us the full amount. So I guess what we're looking for, where would you like me to get the remainder of the money? Through capital, through operating? So the gear dryer was a 10
So
something, right?
Original quote was for just a touch over 11,000. They gave us roughly 8,200 in the grant. So we've got a shortfall there. We've asked, of course, we quoted that back in
2020.
Yeah, it was August of 2024 when the grant submission was put in. So I've asked for an updated quote. I don't have that yet. Said he would get it to me, but I don't have it as of today. To see where we are with the shortfall. So the grant submission submitted the full amount for the gear dryer and the full amount for the 4 sets of gear. But they didn't allocate us the 4 sets of gear and the short change us on dryer. But I think what they did is across the province, they just took all the departments that applied for it. Just divided it by that number of departments and gave everybody very close to the same amount. So there is a shortfall on the ask.
Well, it probably should go in the capital budget.
It's a piece of equipment.
We'll show the expense of the 11,000 and change. And then we'll have an offsetting revenue of 8,200. And then the rest will just come from.
We're trying to get a number right now to see where it's at this year.
Yeah.
I think we all realize that we're all gonna be in a little bit of a gray area this year for capital again, or getting pricing on anything again, due to what's going on with the world, so. Yeah. And, yeah, that's it.
Just a comment about the apartment building Jim went over the other day for a tour. They're waiting for doors.
Yeah.
So there's no front doors in
Yeah,
there, so
yeah.
that's their holdup right now.
Yeah.
There was a gentleman in here yesterday that was supposed to move in on the 18th,
Yeah.
and it's and
No, it doesn't, it's not.
not happening by the 18th.
Yeah, I'm sure they gotta get all their building systems in place, fire safety plan. True, full set of sign offs that she needed before she can, occupancy. Or partial occupancy. We haven't seen any documentation on the fire line testing, speculative testing. I know a lot of it's done, but we haven't seen anything.
Anything else? No?
No, I just wanted to say that that was a good call on Fort Gratiot. It was not because of any kind of issues in the world right now, but because of the size of us and the impact on our resources that we couldn't do it. But of course, if it was something catastrophic, then everyone would.
They, and they totally understand.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
totally get it. I mean, we have one station, St. Clair's got 5, somebody's got there.
Yeah.
It's just, we just don't have.
Yeah.
If I can just make a comment, I would like to thank Chief and Deputy for inviting me to training meeting a week or so ago. And it was a great experience for myself. Loved the way the meeting ran and we got a good group there. And just appreciate it. And it was kind of nice to get back into an operational setting with, you know, a good, you know, good health and safety focus and that. I learned a lot from that evening. Thank you.
Well, anytime. Goes for anybody, right? Any count, anybody, it's always open. So.
Move to the preliminary capital budget summary. I'll move that we receive and file.
Second it.
Yeah, thank you.
So we have begun work. The guys at the department sent over their list of capital and I put it into the spreadsheet. You'll see some blanks in some of the costs, and those are just, we don't have those numbers yet. I put in 200,000 for the reserve on the engine. Just, I mean, whatever, it'll be what it'll be, but
Yeah.
that's what I put there for now.
The placeholder.
Yeah. So just, I took the descriptions that the guys had put together for each of the projects and put it in there, so. If there's any discussion of any questions about those items. If there's anything more you'd like to see, any items added.
Did you finally get the bunker gear for this year, or that was ordered from?
Yeah,
last-
we got it. Yeah, we have it here.
But it was like very delayed.
It wasn't bad. It came
Is it?
early,
Oh.
actually, than what we expected, so. I
Okay.
mean, everything we buy now.
Oh, okay, okay.
The facade of the fire hall, I mean, everything that I'm looking at there, I've got, trying to get some people in here to give me some ideas. I'm trying to do it without going to an engineering firm and drawings and everything else, because to me, it's just a waste of money for what we're looking for. Some of the things are easy to be able to do, but just so you understand what I'm proposing or what I think we can do is. I'd like to close off the 2 parking lots with cement. And I've seen these flower pots that you can buy that are, they water themselves, like you just, there's a reservoir that they get, but they're big. They're heavy. But once you empty them in the spring, you can take them inside so they can be removed in the winter. And they're a good size. I would say they stand up a good 3 feet up. So I thought a couple of those in there would, you know, add to the front. Obviously, the landscaping of the sign in front of the hall, maybe have it updated. Or just talk to Paul, maybe give us some ideas. And then the big one is the garage doors. You know, they're getting to an age. They're all dinged up from kids over there playing hockey, and they've been damaged a few times. So either an option of replacing, which I'm afraid to get that number. But looking at possibly doors, or worst case scenario, we paint and possibly paint brick. One of my dilemmas I'm having is where do I stop because of the library? So within trying to keep it all flow together. And then as far as the front facade of the building, is just putting some new tin up there to maybe go with a different color and trying to just make the front of the hall be more modern looking to going to our downtown and show, just so you understand what I'm looking at trying to do. So, that's where I'm at with it. I may have numbers on some of it, but some of it I may not be able to get, because they're good lobby.
I didn't understand the comment about the driveways.
The parking spots
Yeah, parking,
that are, you know,
two parking, lot, our front of our bay and the church parking lot, it's grass in between there.
Oh, yes, I heard you say that before.
Yeah,
You want to eliminate that strip of grass.
yeah. So I talked to Public Works and asked them what would be their best world, and they
Yeah.
said obviously cement. I think we all know cement is the best bet, because you don't have to worry about maintaining it.
Yeah.
So it's not something that's gotta be heavy cement, just it's gotta be just filled in and. You know, people are gonna drive through, we know that, but if you have flower pots there in the summertime, then. That's that, in the wintertime, there's snow on it, so.
Are those flower pots like the ones that they have at Centennial Park? Are they self-watering?
I
Those
don't
metal
know,
ones?
I'm not too sure, I mean, the ones I've seen, the front
I've
of
seen-
bottom up
yeah,
north, and they're,
yeah.
like, they are excellent, very good quality. A lot of people, I mean, had to be ordering, but I was impressed with them. Cause they're good size and you don't have to worry about someone trying to steal it, tip it over or anything else, so. And not as if we would water, but it's just a reservoir that holds it, it's just one less thing you gotta pay too much attention to.
Mhm.
Just ideas and open to other suggestions, but without spending a ton of money. That's what we're trying to do. It's still updated a bit.
any questions on capital? Suggestions? They're not really looking for cuts right now. We don't have the big picture, right? We don't
Yeah.
have,
That's one.
Yeah.
it's one department. We haven't even looked at the revenues yet, as you know, the treasurer and I, so we're just we've asked the departments to get as much together as they can, and we're working towards the final product, but
Sure.
thought we'd share this with you as a preliminary, where we're at today kind of thing.
And I think we could probably add another 10 boxes when you're looking at a 5-year plan. You know, like it starts, I don't know what's gonna go next or where the next problem may be, for sure, but. This is something brand new, and so. I just thought if we take baby steps, trying to start this with Jane and then we go from there.
Yeah, if you'll recall those capital sheets that this information was pulled from. It shows a 5-year
Yes.
spending spending
Geez.
plan,
Use those
like
words.
options for spending.
Yes.
And so that's kind of the idea. As we move forward, we'll try to anticipate where will we make expenses over the next 5 years.
Yeah.
And so certain things like,
Well, the
you
truck
know,
is
you
an
hate to
example.
say it, but the truck is an example, like, once we pay for this engine truck. We will probably recommend continuing to put money into reserves to replacement of the next truck.
Yeah.
So, you know, the idea will be to pay for this truck in either 26 or 27 to pay the whole thing. We don't know if it's gonna come late 26 or early 27. But then we will probably recommend continuing to put money into reserves in future years for the next vehicle.
Mhm.
So that's, we're just trying to get to the point where we'll look ahead to see where we're at.
Look out. A good plan. About SCBA, that would just be going into reserve.
No,
Add to the
well,
reserve we have.
Well, with SCBA, we're gonna be recommending that get moving on this, so I don't think you'll get them till 2026, but. It's time. These bottles are,
Yeah,
the biggest problem we're having with our SCBA is that our bottles are carbon fiber bottles, which all departments are anymore, but they're 15-year lifespan. Before they get age tested, they can keep on using them, now they're done. They'll drill a hole in, they're finished, they're no longer there. The next problem we're having, every time we have a problem with our BAs now, technology has changed so much, can't get parts. So now they're scrambling to get parts for them to try to make them work. So they're, how old, Rick, 15 now or 16 now?
We bought them in 2013.
Yeah. So they're just, they're coming up.
They've since. They revised the standard and are. Minimum 3 standards behind now. And they're just not supporting the pack. For repair and maintenance. I mean, what they have in parts in inventory is what you get. They're not manufacturing them in our parts for repair. That's what manufacturing costs.
Technology is changing, it's just
So
can't keep up with it.
is that like, how many is that a quantity? There's a quantity that you need to purchase, could it be
No, they're all or nothing.
all or nothing? Okay,
And. Bottles. There was some talk about trying to have Transport Canada up the years of service on the carbon fiber. But they haven't bought into it, so. In the US, that particular bottle, they can run longer than 15 years, but in Canada, 15 years and the bottle gets scrapped. Yeah, be tested.
So there is money in reserve. You've asked for a quote on like a,
Yeah, Rick's got a rough estimate, close to 400 grand. For,
It was 300 and, I think it was 305,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's a few add-ons to that, but that was without any discounts, that's the list price.
Mhm.
That's what we got.
And that's just one vendor at this time. I mean, I'd like to get back to working with the city that we have the same system, same,
yeah,
but it's hard to do because we go right now, we go theirs is MSA, we switch to MSA. And then they're coming up to for replacement, say in 5 years, and if they switch again, then we're back to square one again, because we're not gonna be like that. But the county's got. But ideally, the city who we would be using.
it's too bad they couldn't get an agreement to put it the same across county,
For everybody.
right?
They don't,
All interchangeable,
for the most part, it's not bad, like everybody in for chronic, well, all those guys
Yeah.
are Scott, but. The city's MSA, which is the only difference for nothing working for us.
Mhm.
And on our own.
and the lead time is looking like a 2026 delivery.
I would
Even if we
think by the
ordered them.
time, we haven't even talked to anyone yet, Jim, about like sitting down with Sam and see who's got and what the final price will be and look at full replacement. So. I would think 26 is when you should be. Should be looking at getting them done.
So we will get information by budget day that says, this is the estimate to replace them. We'll have that sheet that Jane has will show what we have currently in reserve and all, there'll be.
Yeah.
The information that's needed will be.
It will have more than one price on 2 different options or. So you have.
And then- also if it can be paid in 2026. Or has to be paid this year.
The way things are anymore, I think it's safe to say that 2026
Yeah.
is when you're gonna be trying to do your purchase. It won't be this year. But I've been talking about this for a while with you, I mean, everything, there's a lot of confusion that for people have, but. I think we all know that they put things in place for replacement for a reason, right? So they're saying everything that we have, basically that we use for our PPE is 10 years. So anything from gloves, helmets, everything gear, 10-year life, and then it's out the door. I'm quite sure there's a lot of counselors and everybody else that are out there going, well, how are these other departments doing it, right? Because some of them are working with stuff that might be 20 years old, and it's true. I'm not denying it. All we're trying to do is stay in front of the bubble. It's start trying to follow the standard the best that we can, and we're always in the direction to do it. Are we 100%? No, but we're close to it. But we've been doing it nice and slow, piece by piece, but when you start talking these packs and. That's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head, that's a big ticket item where we can't buy so many each year, it hits you so hard. But if we don't do it, and if somebody gets hurt in any which
Mhm.
way. They're gonna come back at you saying, why did you not replace that?
Mhm.
So, I get it, it's a lot. But everybody goes through the same problem, all I can tell you is that for the last, how many years now? I have pushed for a little at a time, and I feel the department's in an extremely good position right now for anything else. That we're flowing right along very nicely. Just their gear that they wear. At one time, it wasn't small, medium, large, but it basically was. Here's some gear, put it on, it's okay, yeah, it's not too bad, yeah, okay, that's good enough. Now everybody gets fitted. So how can I keep up with every different size of person I go through a department when we have a 5-year turnover for the bare minimum of people to try to do gear? And then they throw another one at you and say, well, you should have 2 sets of gear for everybody in case we have to do any kind of decon to them and their gear's out of service. So we're holding our own, but we're not, we're in good shape, but it is what it is, but I like it when we can only just a little at a time, we can just
Yeah.
keep it flowing, but this one here for packs, we can't do.
Is this something that could be checked through Canoe?
Possibly.
Possibly try, yeah.
I mean, just
I mean-
because it's universal.
Yeah, but you know what, by the time we get them, there can be even a grant out for something for, 'cause I mean, every year they're gonna be trying to give this grant out for something, but it's more for
We'll keep that
something to do with the cancers, but
in forefront. Like,
Oh, SCBA and cancers, that makes sense to me.
it does, yeah, so. I mean, it'll give us a piece of it, right, so.
Yeah.
And the cost could inflate for what's going on in the world too,
Oh, yeah.
because they are American. made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've already seen, like, we priced those 2 years ago. For preliminary, they're reaching like $75,000. The number we had 2 years ago and the number we have today.
Mhm.
Granted, the number we have today does not include any discounts. The vendor told me that. So there's obviously some negotiating right now. And we wanted that one price.
That's right, yeah, and it's only it's preliminary, so it's just a number, but I'd rather hear a high number, and if we can improve that, that's great, but you're still gonna be spending a good chunk.
Any other questions on budget?
more to come.
Yes. Any other new business? Okay. We go to financial statements for January, and as per usual, start of the year. We haven't spent a lot of money yet,
Lots of zeros.
lots of zeros, and we haven't set the budget yet,
Yeah.
so I'll move the receiving file with report.
Seconded.
Thank you. And if there's nothing else, we'll next meeting date will be March the 11th at 8:30 AM. Thank you very much.